I'm delighted to be joined by director, cinematographer, showrunner, and author again, Barry Sonnenfeld. Hello, Barry Sonnenfeld. How are you?
Good, Simon. How are you?
You mentioned Albert Finney there, and I know it's a story you told before, but can you just tell people the gesture he did at your wedding? I just think that's such a lovely
Sure.
story.
So, Sweetie and I got married at the wrap party of Miller's Crossing. So I said to the Cohens, who were renting a riverboat for the wrap party, I said, "You rent the riverboat. Sweetie and I will pay for food and the band, and we'll have both a wedding because those are the same people I would have invited to the wedding anyway." I love the grips and electricians who I worked with on Miller's Crossing. So we're on a riverboat in New Orleans. We're out in the water. It's sunset. Sweetie and I get married, and Albert makes a lovely speech with lots of metaphors about driftwood and rocks and water. And then the entire Mississippi River lights up in fireworks. Albert had hired a barge filled with fireworks as a wedding gift. So for the next 20 years, Sweetie and I have been married for 35 years. For the next 20 years, I would run into Albert every 4 or 5 years at like some restaurant in LA or something or New York. And Albert would say, "Are you still married to Sweetie?" And I go, "Yes, Albert, I am." And he said, "You better be. That fucking wedding cost me $7,000. That's how much the fireworks were." But Albert is full of largesse. He was just a pleasure to work with. Just a pleasure. If you look at Miller's Crossing, there's a scene where Gabriel Byrne is at Albert Finney's club,
Yeah.
and he goes into the restroom, the women's restroom, and it was the last day of shooting. And the day before, Albert said, "I want to be in one more scene," and Joe and Ethan said, "Well, you can't. The last scene is in a women's bathroom," and he said, "Make me the matron." And
Yeah.
if you look at that scene in Miller's Crossing, you'll see Albert Finney in the background, totally dressed as
Yeah.
the matronly, woman who's like in the bathroom. And I think he crosses himself even when he comes in because he's in the women's, Gabe is in the women's bathroom. So Albert Finney is in that scene just because he loved being on that movie so much.